59,800. I think we're just kind of cruising. Um, now that we're underneath this point of control, I would expect this probability to bring us back down to test the lower 60,000 before moving back up.
On Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm on a 1 hour time frame here, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been super.
I mean, if you look here, if we look here, if we're looking even at something like where I like to look at momentum and stuff like that. I mean, we are gonna have momentum coming up here, but if you look here on these low time frames, this in green here is kind of representing our money flow, and it's gonna come and go, but you can see in general, it's kind of we came back up here latter part of the day here, but not nearly to levels prior. On Wednesday. So, and if that continues and we start to turn red, even kind of, we may push up a little bit, but I don't think it to be significant. Anywhere that we get above this value area high at least, or probably even this point of control. Yeah. And then looking at something that is you like say just calculations, probability, here just on it, is 54% to the downside. So kind of split, but a little bit more to the downside, I'd say. That's what I'm expecting there. When I look at something like this, even say 10-minute estimations, Bitcoin has this postulated to the downside. So, anyways.
Zubic, do you have any BTC? What's your holdings, or how you set up to this bull market?
Yeah, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had Bitcoin. Like, I'm a big DCA guy. Like literally every week, like 20 or $30. Like I've never been like a huge baller on Bitcoin, but it's something that I just passively accumulate, like just very low amounts of sats. Like Bitcoin is one of those things, like whether it goes up or whether it goes down, it's like as long as you're just DCAing and it's not destroying, your financial situation, like I think that's cool. Like, and for me, that's all I need. And, hopefully one day, maybe have like a Bitcoin and like, obviously that's going to be like very unattainable for most people. Even, I mean, it's unattainable for most people now. But as time goes on, I mean, we all know it's going to get even more difficult to get your hands on Bitcoin. You're seeing OTC desks are running out of it and order books are flying. But for me, I've never really gone too heavy into it, just more throwing a bit of cash at it every week. Sometimes more, sometimes less. I mean, I'm always bullish on Bitcoin. And of course, whatever Bitcoin does, right, like generally the rest of the market will take form. And, being mainly in ETH, it's like you always need to pay attention to Bitcoin. Like it's just important. And obviously the traditional markets as well, because the traditional markets trump Bitcoin, and when that fucking goes down, Bitcoin goes down. So it's always just been sort of a little thing I dip into. But yeah, no worries, nothing to. It's never like a fear situation. It's just stack it. I'm young, and hopefully, 10, 15 years from now, I have a bit of Bitcoin on my hand.
Right, you're going without long-term holds, not really trading. No, we agree with you here. Bitcoin being the leader, the number one crypto, everything kind of rises and falls based on Bitcoin. Especially with ETH and Sol being the most used chains. Everyone's still looking at Bitcoin as the barometer of crypto health right now.
Yeah, and we're ETH, right? Like everyone has their kind of home. So Ethereum, Solana. Some people have coin with the ordinals and everything. And again, it's really just about your flavor, but it all comes down to Bitcoin, and really, everything's denominated under that. So I think for like Bitcoin, I always tell people, like I have a lot of friends who are like, hey man, should I go buy some Bitcoin? Should I, I've got $5,000. I want to buy some crypto. And it's you can never really go wrong recommending somebody to just DCA on Bitcoin over time. Like it's probably your most healthy choice. It's probably, like the least risky unless the market takes a massive dump. And then ETH and Sol, right? And then usually tell people like after that, like you're kind of, like there's those top three, and then you got the stable coins, but after that, it's really you're picking your flavor, I think.
Right.
But
It's kind of more risky to DCA into let's say top 20, top 50 tokens, unless you have a true edge there and holding for the long term. Right.
that's right. Yeah. Like I've got Bitcoin, obviously got ETH. I've got a tiny bit of Solana. But like, a couple of years ago when I was before NFTs, I was trading crypto. I was trading, ADA, Reef, like all of these really low key chains and coins that were kind of like in the top, like I'd say like 50-ish kind of. You call it like they're all alts, but like those only move so much, and you just have all these new flavors and um, these new blockchains coming in, layer twos, etc., that are all valued at $1 billion value, like $1 billion valuations, and it's kind of people are just fighting for this like flavor is kind of thing. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's like everyone should be kind of aiming to like stack the majors, because that's always going to be like the key play.
What would you say is like
I agree.
the bottom of the majors there?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you mean, yeah, probably like I consider Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana the three majors. I always like things in threes, and I think most people definitely consider those three the majors now. And yeah, like I mean, you've got Cardano, you've got like a lot of these other chains, right, which are awesome, and Dogecoin, like Shiba Inu, like there's meme coins out there with insane market caps, and it's some people will say ADA is a major or whatever, and I guess it's each their own, but I would say like Solana's maybe that like bottom of the majors for me. When I came in, it was always Bitcoin and ETH, but I mean Solana is just so heavily used. The applications, the collaborations that they're doing with just massive companies worldwide. It's safe to say that Solana is definitely, I think, a major now.
Right. I'm just looking at the chart. Bitcoin, ETH, Tether doesn't really count. BNB. I mean, I've been pretty bullish on BNB for a while. It seems like they kind of have. I feel like they're like the adults in the room sometimes, especially with the CZ stuff and him not having really a lot of control in the company anymore. They're trying to switch the company over to CZ, leading it to board directors more less like hierarchical, like autocratic, and more board of directors, traditional company sort of way, and trying to be that pillar of crypto as on a corporate level. Not like Ethereum with the foundation, but as
Yeah,
as a corporation.
BNB is interesting. Like I used to, so before getting into NFTs, like I was just a trader. I literally, it was COVID had hit, lost my job. I was pretty good with money, so I had a bit of cash to spend, and I caught the bottom of the crypto market. If you guys remember, like, ETH was like, I don't even know, a couple $100 at the bottom of COVID. And I was just stacking all this crypto. And I kind of figured, if the market picks back up again, they're pumping a shit ton of cash and printing a ton. This is like ripe for a massive gain, like soon. And everything just started going up. And so I was making decent money trading shitcoins, and I was on BNB for a little bit. Like, and the only reason being was because ETH again was very expensive. Like gas fees were on average like 100 Gwei, and BNB was like that chain where like people really like could be degenerate back in like 2020 DeFi summer, where like Solana wasn't so hot at the time that like Radium and those applications, like they existed, but they just weren't as strong. They didn't have the users. Like the applications weren't they weren't as fast, they weren't as quick, the UIs weren't as great. But it's crazy to see over the couple of years like how Solana's really just taken over that. And but BNB is massive, and like you mentioned, kind of that like corporate kind of, I mean, Binance being obviously by volume the largest exchange, by far. They really are just like, it made sense for them to do that. And like they're trying to separate themselves from CZ obviously because of like everything that happened. And like I actually think he gets out of jail soon. I think I saw a tweet about that.
Yeah, he's like house arrest right now.
Yeah,
not in jail.
like he's gonna. Yeah,
Free
I was
this man.
gonna say it was kind of a slap on the wrist for him, right? But more so, yeah, like they're really trying to kind of change that narrative with it. And like I know their new CEO is like a real boss guy, and he's actually really on top of everything. I see him very active, like on Twitter and talking to the community. So, BNB will always be this interesting one because it's like, as much as people like hate on BNB or they think it's kind of like whatever, it's like if you were trading shitcoins 3-4 years ago, it's like you were probably on BNB.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in some
Yeah.
shady pool yielding pools.
Oh yeah, yeah, all that crap. Yeah.
Yeah, Doge is on BNB. Doge is on that Binance Smart Chain, like the original meme coin.
Yeah, I mean, Binance really just took over. Like, I mean, they're so much older than, I mean, so much younger than Coinbase. Like, Coinbase is like is an older company, and obviously, it's like basically Binance and Coinbase. They're like the two biggest ones, and Coinbase is obviously very North American friendly here in Canada, in the U.S., etc. But Binance, like I remember, like CZ, like if you followed him over the years, he was traveling to like Africa, Asia, all these different countries, like
Right.
worldwide, trying to like integrate Binance, trying to get the blockchain technology there, and like he was just really hitting the other markets. And I mean, then they had Binance.us, right? Because the US regulators wanted Binance to have a separate exchange for US citizens, right?
That
And
didn't last long.
it didn't. Yeah, it really didn't. It really didn't last that long. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to use Binance a while back, and there's like no volume on the.
I was gonna
US.
say I've seen complaints lately over the wires of users talking about it being slow or degradation issues, but
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
There's just no volume on it.
you,
There's,
you
like,
can't use
absolutely-
Binance in Canada anymore. Like when I was trading on Binance 4 years ago, you could use it, and then I think it was in 2021 or 22. I stopped using Binance months before this, but I ended up getting an email because I was still on their mailing list, and it said I'm in Ontario, so there's obviously like there's a bunch of provinces in Canada. In Ontario, it was like Ontario citizens can now like everything is shut off because like the regulators here just they don't want people using leverage. They don't want people doing insane longs and shorts, and it's just regulation for you at that point, right? And yeah, there's very few exchanges that you can like operate on here, like, and it's just because the regulation is just so tight. Canada's it's just very much like the U.S. in the same way everything's regulated heavily, and Coinbase is a good one. Like you've got ShakePay, you've got a lot of off ramps. But in terms of like spot exchanges and like places where you can arbitrage or places where you can find a really strong order book, it's getting quite difficult. It's hard.
Yeah, especially for US, right? Maybe Coinbase is the best one, but there's a lot of regulatory
Yeah.
hurdles you have to go through. Yeah, I mean, back to Binance. Like, if you look at this chart, right, they've been more range bound than Bitcoin, and they've been pretty stable, right? Like, there's like any sign of weakness is bought back up,
Yeah. Actually, it's a pretty good looking chart. Yeah.
right? After this initial run up that was Bitcoin and all the other cryptos.
Yeah.
Late 2023, and it's just been holding steady right here. So, could be a interesting one to look at. It's been super range bound, but
Mhm.
I mean, if we're just going down the majors, right? Solana's up there. XRP is surprisingly up there.
Yeah. What do y'all think about Aave? Aave's been on quite a run.
Yeah, what's the alpha on Aave? I saw some people writing some
It's
stuff.
the
about it.
TPS getting much faster is part of the hype.
Nice.
It's technically about basically on par with Solana right now.
Interesting. Is there a pumped up fun alternative on Aave?
No, what you need to be looking for is the pumped up fun alternative for Tron. Oh, I guess that's that Sunbeam or whatever.
Sun Pump or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Pump,
been already
yeah.
done.
Pumped
So,
up Sun, yeah, for Justin Sun.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't be
Is
bothered.
Aave the new Tron? That's the real question. It's
Nah, I
early,
think
so.
Aave might be the new little L1. Try to compete, give Solana a run for its money.
Really,
Yeah, we'll
that'd
see.
be that'd be a 1000x situation.
We'll see. We'll see here.
Have you guys bought any Ton coin? TON?
No, I've been waiting for a good
Yeah.
pullback and just haven't had the opportunity.
Yeah, it's moving. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? It's 8th now.
That's crazy. I don't know much about it. I need to do more research, but I know like their community on Twitter and like where I've seen is actually insane. Like they're a big group.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people were the Ton community on Twitter. That's funny.
Well, I would trust it more than I don't know. I'm just not the biggest Telegram. I'm just not there yet with Telegram, man. I'm just not there yet.
You
Yeah.
would assume that their community on Telegram is much better, but I guess Twitter is still where it's at for Web3.
Yeah. No, I mean the Telegram, that's like native to the Telegram app. I guess maybe like their company page is like I see them pop up on my timeline a lot on Twitter, and
Mhm.
but yeah, they're just doing business at the end of the day. But I've seen like crazy growth there, and I noticed a couple days ago, I'm like, this is in the top 10 now. Wow, that's crazy.
Right? That's a yeah. I just couldn't find a good entry on Ton yet. Maybe down
Look.
here, but like that was like probably for like less than 5 minutes down here.
Yeah, got bought up.
Right?
To golly, that Sun token, that Sun meme token, still running today, 40% up.
Was it
Wow.
Pumped on Sun?
The token though, Sun, that's crazy. Hey, how about did y'all hear? Have y'all seen any that I saw Magic Eden issued its or announced its token or its tokens
Yeah.
dropping,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that.
saw it today.
and as well D-Bridge, which we knew some type of incentive was coming from the D-Bridge campaign, but it's an actual token as well, which I was surprised on that one a little bit.
Yeah, the Magic Eden. And I think initially they actually had like it was called Ticker NFT or something, and they initially had a different brand name for it. And then you know what? They went quiet for a bit, and everyone was kind of asking like, well, you know, the diamonds, this and that, like what happened to this announcement? And it looks like over the past couple months they changed it. So now the ticker is ME, obviously for Magic Eden, and they've called it the Magic Eden Foundation. So it just looks like a little bit of a name change, a little bit of brand change. They've probably, I'm sure they've done, you know, they've moved employees around and swapped people in positions and stuff. But that looks like, and I'm not 100% sure about this, but people were asking like, are these what the diamonds are going to, you know, convert to, or are you going to be able to swap them for or whatever? And I'm going to assume that is what it's for, or maybe you're able to spend them or use them somehow. I don't know, but that should be decent, right? I think for the NFT community. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to farm NFT points again. That's my favorite part of the whole
Oh,
thing.
the coin Desync is up 13%. That can't be. Is that? Hey, how about IO? Is a coin that I've been talking about lately. You see, is it's up about 18% today on the news that they're now requiring basically you have to stake it the coin as well to get rewards now.
Nice. Yeah.
Mining it basically.
Caused a little bit of a jump, yeah.
You wanna
supply shop.
try to pull that up if you have the chart ready?
Me?
Yep.
Oh yeah, sure. No, sure.
I'm just looking at the top 50 cryptos here. I can't believe the old Ethereum and old Bitcoin are still up here.
That's
like, how are
crazy.
these not sold off yet?
Ethereum Classic, yeah. Ethereum Classic was the OG Ethereum, right? And then they had some sort of exploits or something, and then they had
it was the DAO got exploited.
Right, yeah, the DAO got exploited, so they literally had to deploy like a whole new chain.
They just like forked it basically, and
exactly, yeah.
Bitcoin Cash is up here as well at 300 something, which is crazy.
Wow, crazy. Yeah, Chainlink, yeah. I used to trade Chainlink a bit. Yeah, Litecoin.
Right, I'm gonna put you up, see if you got the formatting correct.
How's it look?
It's
bigger?
pretty good.
What's
the IO situation, IO?
Okay, so we're looking good. I don't know if this is showing off a little bit here, but this is like on the 15th. I was trying to make a call on this. Just looking for any kind of accumulation or entry zone here, anywhere from $1.40 up here to about $1.60. And I was looking at this as being kind of more of a 1 to 2 month type hold. But yeah, so anyways, at least from the top of our entry here, yeah, we're up about 17% before leverage. I'm currently a little leveraged on this, so I'm sure I'm up a little bit more than that, but excited to hopefully hold on to this one for at least maybe through here to maybe the end of September. So I have to wait and see. But
what's the thesis here on IO?
Well, the fundamentals I was looking at, I felt like were backing up some of that. One, I was looking for like, okay, but flashback to the 15th, things were pretty bleak there. Not for just IO in particular, but just the whole the crypto market, and so I was kind of looking for. Well, one, I'm not a fan of like trying to I don't want to even say I'll say catch bottoms. How about that one? But when I started looking more just kind of at different metrics for IO, being more like fundamentals, some things that impressed me was like looking at how com- when you compare them, say, to some of the others in the same sector, whether it's like Render, Filecoin, or even some of the newer ones, they seem to have the largest growth and the most GPUs online. So it seems to be pretty good adoption. And then I was looking at the actual revenue, the payout that they were paying out month or month, and that looked good as well. I had no like little alpha heads up that they were going to do the staking thing. It was purely really just looking more. Um,
long term, or
yeah,
you
if you
didn't
did
know about the news announcement. You were just
correct.
buying it in.
Correct. If you look at if you go to their site, they do have where you like just some public information dashboards, just like they do on some other things. But they have an Explorer, and they also have like a cloud, something they call well, that's their cloud, but their Explorer and their worker models, and so you can kind of view and get an idea of some different metrics and stuff like that. So that to me was impressive, and it honestly it from a TA perspective, I'm not sure. I have to look again. It had really came down. Earlier in the I want to say at least the first quarter of this year, right? Everybody was pushing deep in and AI kind of narratives, and so oh wow, yeah, this was down. Let's see, down 77% since middle of June. So it was needing to bounce sometime. It had really kind of put in this pivot low down here $1.30 about, but just kind of on higher time frames, on like a weekly time frame, stuff like that, you could see money flow starting to shift back to be a little. Oh, we're still on my screen. I didn't realize that. Started to shift back to being positive here a little bit. So um, that was something I was looking here for. See if we look on a weekly here. Let's say time frame here.
Yeah,
It's
can
gonna
you
be tough.
narrow your window again so you can zoom it in more?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, I mean, we got a green dot on the daily here, but it's kind of retrospective. But it's really this money flow here. I was interested in seeing how it was starting to decline. Also, we're kind of on the bottom of a pivot of a momentum wave here, and this last momentum wave definitely took us down below our 60 levels. So yeah, and these RSIs are still holding and not split, so that kind of adds convergence to the trend. And yeah, anyways, I do expect this to trend to continue hopefully here. So we'll be
Where
waiting to see.
were you looking to take profit here? If you want to disclose.
Um, I would at least think about
You had a pretty good entry on this too.
yes sir I did. Yes sir I did. And it gave plenty of opportunities. I kept pinging people. Actually, I think I've
Yeah,
posted
you were
some
paying
not
people for like a couple weeks or like a week or
yeah,
two.
yes I have been. So but yeah, I would probably look to if we were to say approach, yeah, something like here, let's say, uh, maybe yeah, 251. I'd probably maybe take 10-20% out. But like I said, I'm really kind of trying to hold this for at least here for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I mean, I'd obviously too look again here at you know $3.15.
Yeah,
My
that's
target
when you're
here,
looking at
yeah,
the
my target
longer
here
term
was
resistance.
yeah, my target here was kind of 341. It was the top side of this, but let's see what we can get. We can see what we can get.
What'd you say your risk reward on this trade is? Like 4 to 1, 3 to
Mm,
1?
yeah, about 31. So, yep.
Yeah, almost there. I mean, you nailed that entry, so that definitely helps the first half of the trade, and then now it's just waiting and see.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, and give you an idea of right something like this. We'll just take whatever some average entry here. Um, you know, say 20% easy, give or take, right? Being nice, you know,
Without
without
leverage. So
leverage, right? Right. And so you could maybe double, triple that, see, get an idea. But yeah, yeah. So I mean,
that's
it.
solid. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's different from your scalping plays, so it's good to see you branching out and
yeah, yeah. I was looking. You know, I got lucky and got it right a while back with kind of a investment longer term kind of play on golly, what's wrong with me, on the betting platform, the gaming platform, gee whiz, not their logos branding's like yellow, like Bybit. It's
mm,
uh gee whiz, it's a betting platform. They've been around for a while. Their
betting like
infrastructure.
gambling or like
Yeah, yeah, gamble, full on gambling, sports
Is it
gambling.
stake?
on
No, no, no.
is it like a Solana gambling platform?
No, 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 no. More like stake. Gee whiz. Uh, roll.
Rollbit?
Oh,
Really?
Rollbit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Rollbit's that's a
geez,
big
yes, yeah, yeah,
platform.
yeah. So I got lucky on Rollbit a while back. And even at the time, like there was quite a bit of other competitors, and obviously even since then, there's been a lot more to come in the market. But Rollbit, um, I kind of had made a pitch for an investment, and not only did obviously the price appreciate, but they and I kind of some of this was just based on not necessarily fundamentals, but or you could say fundamentals just in the sense that they had a lot of the infrastructure kind of more built and in place, tried and true than some of the other market participants, and then they ended up for whatever reason doing some token burns that obviously decreased supply and was a positive too. You know what I mean? For the coin. So yeah, that was good. So I was kind of looking for something like that again. Was the
No, I
idea there?
got you. That's a
Yeah.
good call here. Um,
Did y'all see what Rare did over with the Binance? I guess with Binance listing and everything else.
no, you want to pull that up as well?
I don't know where it's at. Where we're at now with something like that, but let's see. That was pretty crazy. Because then I want to get into real quest. I wanted to ask some. Well, I got um Zubic here as well. I wanted to ask like his take on kind of marketplaces and fields here. Let's see. Yeah, so this is just a 4 hour, and this is on Binance. But yeah, we can see here. Well, it's up 229% in the past 7 days. That's pretty wild.
That's wild.
That's obviously a super rare platform, rare token. But yeah, like what do you? Obviously, I don't see OpenSea. I would be shocked if OpenSea turned around and did some type of token. But
Yeah, I haven't heard
like,
anything about OpenSea in a long time. It seems like they closed up shop.
well, if they do, I wish I'm not still the biggest fan of some of Magic Eden's layout, I guess, or maybe I'm still just getting used to it. I used to love it back in the day when I traded Solana NFTs, and that was my go-to place. But I don't know. I still like some of the like looking at offers and things like that. Whether it's if it's outside of Blur, what I'm trying to say. I I find difficulty with that sometimes on Magic Eden. And
Yeah, like I honestly, I think every market, like all of them, are like pretty decent. Like I always say, I'd like if I'm gonna go from like just like a easiness, like user experience where it's like nice for me, I think OpenSea takes cake. But
Yeah,
I
that's
do
where I
think
tell my mom to go. You know, I
they're all
mean, not
decent,
literally, but yeah.
Yeah, I like Blur too. I mean, like Blur's just like very fast, very quick. They all have their ups and downs, and then there's like the few in between, like kind of looks rare and X2Y2. Like a lot of the times, those were just being used for like money laundering and stuff, and like
Oh, those are
NFTs.
definitely
Yeah,
closed down.
yeah. Those don't really get a whole lot of. Well, it's not. It's not that they don't get a lot of traction. I guess it's just OpenSea, Blur, and then now Magic Eden. I think like those three are like obviously the top dogs, if you will.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you. OpenSea is kind of like good at looking at NFTs, right? But
Yeah.
if I was gonna like where I'm actually doing the most transactions now is Magic Eden for sure. Blur was always too
Yeah.
Blur was always too serious for me. Like it was too trade heavy.
Yeah.
Right? But I think Magic Eden is the clear winner right now. Depending on, I mean, we'll see how this token launch goes for Magic Eden, but yeah, they just seem like they've been moving the quickest. And I mean, they have ordinals, they have runes, they have Soul NFTs, ETH NFTs, they have a wallet now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Magic Eden is like they jumped on like ordinals became a thing that Rod guy created, kind of the whole code and everything around it. And the Magic Eden really they really jumped on ordinals very quickly. Like they saw that opportunity that people are going to have a lot of interest in this, and this is Bitcoin. This is a good chance to make revenue in native Bitcoin. And I mean they like soon had after they launched it took a couple weeks and they had like 70-80% of the ordinals market share, which is incredible. And and then that just obviously they've expanded and they were obviously native to Solana. Like Solana is where they began, but yeah, you got ETH now, you've got Base, you've got all these different ones, and they're really spreading out. Like I love Magic. I think it's great. Personally, like if I was going to go shop for like because I'm mainly doing ETH NFTs, I usually it's just like ingrained in me to hop on OpenSea. You know what I mean? Just because I was like trading all the way back in 21, and I think they've all kind of made questionable moves. Like like none of them are perfect. Obviously, they're just businesses, but the OpenSea token idea, I think, is long out the window. Like it's funny, people still like talk potentially about that. It's like that's so far gone, and even if it because they would have already done it, like or they would have already implemented or something or some sort of system of points or I don't know. And it just seems like they want nothing to do with points or tokens or anything at all, right? Like they, if you guys remember, they dropped that like NFT everybody could claim, and then everyone just sold it, and people were trading it or whatever. But yeah, Magic Eden's clearly going to be doing the token. Blur, they have their token. I haven't checked that in probably like a year. But yeah, at the end of the day, they're all just marketplaces, but it's always like the users that are driving the demand, right? And
Right.
it depends like who actually wants to use which one. So yeah, and I guess that just comes down to personal flavor.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna speculate here, what do you think the next? We haven't heard anything from OpenSea in a long time in Web3 and a long time in general, right? So
Yeah.
what do you expect they're cooking up? Because they're
Oh yeah, they did have that NFT. Golly, I had to think about that.
It was the gems.
Saw that.
It was
Yeah,
the gems.
yeah, the
yeah.
gem. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Everyone got to
And then that was
claim.
the
I don't know if you've made an OpenSea account. I think you got to claim one or two, and I think it ended up going up to maybe like a 0.05 floor because people were just people were trading them on Blur. It was hilarious, like getting the points, all this stuff, and I think most people maybe made a couple $100 or maybe a little less than that. So I don't know. Like it's hard to say where. Is it better to do something like that where you avoid more regulatory hurdles and it's easier and people can still kind of like make money or like speculate on it, or is it better to like drop a token on them and then maybe like in most cases it usually just like dumped, I'd say in most cases, and then it's kind of hard to recover. So I think OpenSea, I don't think the token will ever come, but I know that they're working, like they announced that they're working on OpenSea 2.0. And I think this is going to be like if you know Seaport, which is OpenSea's infrastructure on the chain that runs the whole marketplace. OpenSea 2.0 is a whole new tech stack. Like I'm pretty sure they've been building out a whole new infrastructure. So again, whenever they drop OpenSea 2.0, there's probably going to be a whole bunch of new features, integrations. The whole thing with royalties. I'm sure there's going to be things there that they're going to be implementing. I'm sure there's going to be the better user experience. So it's hard to say. I'm sure that they're all working on ways to improve. Like we know Magic Eden is. They're a lot more open, I think, and transparent with what they're building. Like they're very active and like with the comms and all that. OpenSea maybe not so much, and then you just kind of have like Blur and Blast. That's like just really quiet and like whatever. But I do think OpenSea with the potentially with whatever they're doing, and I don't know because I'm not really even technical with code and all that, but it could be a game changer. Like they could introduce something new that really attracts people again, or it changes the sentiment where users are on OpenSea again. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say, but I think for the past 2.5 years, 3 years, OpenSea has been my preferred. But I've used all the other marketplaces because obviously you got to try, you got to see how it is. And I think OpenSea, the only reason that I still like it the best is I think I'm a very visual person. Like from a visual standpoint and a cleanliness standpoint, I still think that it's the best, and that's just my opinion. So I'm also I like product like that where it's very easy, very slim, quick, and that's like where I get the OpenSea vibes from. Regardless of like all of this like bad decisions and things that they've done and caused a lot of upset. So to each their own, I guess.
No, I agree. I think the UI on OpenSea is still my choice. It's just
Yeah.
Magic
Yeah,
Eden is so much easier to use.
If I was looking at just wanting to look at a collection in whole or whatever and get an idea, yeah.
Or if I'm talking to someone and they're like, "Hey, I want to go buy an NFT. Where do I do this?"
Right.
Like I'm just hardwired to send them OpenSea.io. Like be like, and it just like, or most people will be like, "Hey, hey Jake, I want to buy an NFT. Would you recommend OpenSea?" So it's usually like the first one that people sort of hear of, or it's on their minds, or they've maybe swiped on a couple times, and that could just be the first mover advantage that OpenSea had, but clearly it doesn't mean a whole lot. Seeing how they've been trumped in like so many different areas in the past 2 years. So it's hard to say, but OpenSea is like, I do definitely think though they've seen like a lot of they've seen the mistakes that they've made. The feedback is pretty open, especially on like Twitter and Discord. Like people are really have been adamant about how they feel. So I do think like maybe they don't respond the best, but I'm sure they've taken that in, and all things considered, moving forward, it could be better. But yeah, it's hard to say. And I mean, NFTs in general, the volume's just kind of down. So
Yeah. Hey, I'm seeing too that apparently to claim Magic Eden's airdrop, you have to also get the wallet.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
No,
What
I
a
don't want
kicker.
that wallet.
What a
No, I
kicker.
know. I was
Wallets
thinking
already.
that. You know
What
what?
a
It actually
kicker.
is. It actually is a pretty nice wallet. Like I got an early access code to it. It is decent. Like I
Okay.
use MetaMask still. I've used Rabbi Wallet. I've used a couple other ones, and like it's a decent wallet. But again, like I knew that when this thing was coming, I was like, they're definitely going to make this within the wallet because it's going to get people to download it. It's going to push it up on the charts in the App Store and things like that. So
Can you use it like an extension? Like a
yeah,
Chrome
like just like MetaMask.
Here's what I would keep. Yeah, but can you put in custom RPC endpoints on Solana?
I think so.
Not
Like I'm
on
not
Phantom, and that drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure on that. Yeah,
It's hard to Backpack's about the only good one I know for that right now.
that's by the Mad Lads guys, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but basically, like you used to be able, like Slope. I used to use Slope for Solana as well back in the day.
Yeah.
And you could you used to be able to put in custom endpoints and Solana. I mean, you just like you can in MetaMask, obviously.
Yeah, I like MetaMask. I mean, like that's the one I've used for the longest. People have been same thing with MetaMask. I mean, everyone screams for a token, right? Like everybody wants some sort of reward for like using these applications, and I think. With OpenSea, it was a little different because they like really did collect tons of fees in sort of like a very smaller sector of the crypto market, whereas like MetaMask is obviously just big across DeFi and everything, and it's a little bit more private and secluded, and they're not as open, I would say, with things like that. But people were like, we want a MetaMask token because they've made so much money. Time to give it back to the people who use your wallet, right? Things like that, and. Yeah, it gets to a point where like a lot of these companies, like it probably just doesn't make sense for most of them, and that's why they just simply don't do it. They're revenue generating machines, but it's just more, just the regulatory stuff, like OpenSea being based, I think about it's based in New York, isn't it? So it's just Magic Eden. I'm not sure where Magic Eden is based. I don't know if they're West Coast or whatever. But I think a lot, Blur is probably like Cayman Islands or something. I have no clue. But a lot of the times when you go in, do kind of those areas, and you get a little bit more leeway with that stuff and a little bit more room to wiggle with like tokens and airdrops. And, all you got to do is put a little disclaimer saying if you're from the US, you do not have access to this airdrop, right? Or the UK or whatever regions and jurisdictions that they block on there, because oftentimes that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Magic Eden only. I'm not Magic Eden. MetaMask only makes fees off of the bridging and the swaps. They don't make fees on transfers.
Yeah. And,
So-
but we've heard people like one mask token. It's like,
Right.
oh man, like imagine you just open your MetaMask and you've just got like 10K of this random mask token. But yeah,
No way you're getting 10K for using it.
Oh, I know it would be small. It'd be probably $100, and
I mean, they're owned by a large company, Consensus.
Consensus. Yeah, Consensus. I think the co-founder of ETH is like the CEO of that company. I think, or he was one of the guys that was like one of the main builders of Ethereum. I think I may be wrong. But, it's all intertwined. I mean, everything. These guys.
So yeah, they only make MetaMask. Interesting.
Really, that's it. Yeah. Huh.
In Linea.
And Linea, yeah. MetaMask actually bought. You guys know Wallet Card, right? The NFT. It's like an extension. It just tells you when you're about to access a phishing website.
Yeah, right.
MetaMask just they bought them out about a month or two ago, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I think MetaMask is going to be like directly implementing Wallet Card into the extension. So,
Wow.
MetaMask is still my go-to wallet. It's just so easy to use. It's so simple.
Yeah, me too.
But Phantom can connect both Sol and
Ethereum.
ETH wallets, so that's also I'm considering
I like
changing it over.
Yeah. The
ETH
problem
transactions do seem a little faster in Phantom. I have less gas rejection, but you just can't do as much. You can't customize them nearly the same.
Yeah.
But,
MetaMask, you can really dial it into like a T, Not that that's even like an issue anymore with ETH, because like we've had one go away for like 3-4 months now. But it's like before, when you're like trying to fight for like a shitcoin swap or something, you have to like really fight for gas and like shoot it up super high or, above average or whatever. But yeah, like I literally saw Gwei the other day was 0.7. Like it was a decimal. I was like, I've never seen this before. This is crazy.
ETH is dead. Chain confirmed.
Yeah, ETH is dead. I saw a tweet. Someone said ETH is the new BlackBerry. I was like, damn,
hey,
that hit hard.
back real quick to the Telegram, which I guess apparently Zubic are not that experienced with, but Danksy, I know you've been using it some. Are you anticipating the dogs airdrop or what?
No, I do not have any TON or I use Telegram just to chat people.
Well,
trade.
But it says that the project, unlike Notcoin and some of the others, is it's based on an algorithm of basically they're using to see based on your Telegram usage time and activity.
Well, I'm sure people are figuring out how to bot the absolute hell out of that.
Oh, I'm sure Telegram's botted to hell as it is.
Crazy, yeah, exactly.
The depth of Telegram users considered by the community to be able to bring in more value user base. Well,
Yeah, the system can be gamed. It'll be gamed no matter what, especially in crypto.
Everyone has so much free time to just try to game it.
Yeah, and I mean,
you
the
get
tech is just so good
for gaming it. So
the tech is just so good now too, and a lot of these great applications are coming out where it makes your average Joe can hop on his screen, press a couple buttons, and deploy shitcoins now, or hell, even deploy their own damn L2s and stuff. Like, there's literally applications where you can deploy your own blockchains now. I mean, they've been around for a bit, but they're getting really defined now. Like, very good, very quick, very fast. It's honestly insane how quickly this stuff is developing, and it's all giving your average person the easy ability to do it. Before, even me, I would have no clue how to do a smart contract. Now AI can do it for you. You can go onto websites and they'll deploy them for you. It's just so easy, and you go on GitHub and do it. Like, I wouldn't know where to begin with this stuff, but as time goes on and you learn all these things, it becomes like the most valuable knowledge, code and stuff. So I've tried to learn over the course of the years, but by nature, I'm not a dev, so I'm not very good at that stuff.
for sure.
Do
Do
you
you want to
want
go
to?
look at meme coins now, or do you want to?
Yeah. Why don't you? Yeah.
Zubic,
Do
do you have
that,
a
Danksy.
cutoff time? I have a cutoff time in like 20 minutes, basically.
Yeah, I gotta bounce at probably 10, 15. But yeah, we can talk about meme coins,
Okay.
maybe NFTs more, whatever you guys want. I'm down.
I wanted to make sure you get a chance to be sure. And I mean, obviously, anybody that knows you knows that about space riders. But is there anything you want to tell everybody else real quick, or
Yeah, no, like
just what y'all doing?
100%, dude. You know, it's coming up on 3 years now with SR. It feels like it's been like 15, but yeah, you know, NFTs settled down. The obvious thing happened with NFTs. It was like this gold rush. Everything was going up. Teams were making insane amounts of money, not only from their mints, but from royalties, because there was such a large gap and arbitrage there where there was none of that like hyper financialization to be able to cut that. And when we saw Blur come in and a lot of the big collection, you know, other deed mints, and like you really started to see like when this top was coming in, because it was, you're like, okay, a lot of money is being spent now from consumers here. A lot of people are dumping things to try to go in on one thing. Royalties are gone, right? There's not as many collections coming out anymore. People are giving up. And I remember then we were like, okay, you know, this is when like the space is going to really get down and serious, and like you're going to see like who's here to provide whatever form of value and whatever you think that is, and stick around and actually make something out of an NFT collection. And you know, for the past, that was like probably a year ago, maybe a little longer, and in the last year we like went back to ground zero. We went back and saw, okay, you know, what have we done? What has gone well? What hasn't gone well? Airdrop, staking, storytelling, like collaborations, all these different things. You know, we've made all those touch points, and I think for a long time it was like, you know, strong community, move them towards wherever we go. But in this year specifically, so 2024, there's been a lot of focus on product, how we can add more application to our portal, how we can deliver more value through collaborations, right? Other airdrops, but things that make more sense, best them out, how we can integrate IP, and also how we can help the individual holder. And those are kind of like those 4 or 5 things where we really see, okay, you know, if we can narrow this down and keep it like that way with the 2 PFP collections that we have, strong community, very monetized in a way, then as long as those core elements are hit, and you know, revenue starts generating, and you're healthy and things are sustainable, and you've got a good community of people who want you to grow, then I think you've hit the good mark. And a lot of collections are sort of hitting that area or finding that level now, because it's been about a year and a half. It's been some time, you know, since that serious zone hit. And a lot of it's really coming to fruition for people. And I think for us, like, you know, we were like, okay, we've done a lot wrong. We've done a lot of great, but now let's just focus on like a few things, get it out there. You know, we're a small team. But now it's really going to be like, how can we evangelize the community more, like in a real way, help people get footing, help them go up. People can submit like applications in a creators portal where basically we help leverage their platforms, give them an edge, resources, etc., things that we have access to. And we like it's always like, if you have 10 great holders, that's awesome. But if you have 20 great holders, it's even better. And it's almost just like a thing. It's almost something that snowballs. And with the interest in NFTs that died off, you know, we kind of saw things got quiet. And recently it's just been like getting the community together, keeping everybody active, like constantly rewarding, giving back in a way. And I think just being accessible. That's important too. A lot of people, you know, most people are accessible, but you know, not being accessible is like, most people probably don't want to be around very long or kick it with you or whatever. So I think just on a personal level, getting to know holders, being honest, talking with them, seeing how they are, it's done us well. But I think in the grand scheme of things, you know, like you have all these holders, right? How can you help everyone grow? How can you generate revenue through through the holders themselves and for the business, and make it all kind of work together? But in more ways where we give power to the people and help them grow. And for us, you know, whether there is money involved or not, for us it's still a plus, because if the holders are winning in some way, then we're winning, right? And it's a representation of us. And I think that's always just been one of the most important factors in NFTs, where people are trying to find like this serious thing to get behind. But really, it's just going to be about any sort of business, and then a community or group of users that are monetized, that are able to push that. And I think that's where NFTs will mainly go in the IP sector. And then you're going to have gaming, right? Gaming's going to be massive. I don't think anytime soon, maybe, but I think in the next coming years, when things get figured out a little better, that's going to be huge as well. And then I think just like infra software, that's going to be just another part of NFTs. People being able to use applications and do things that make their life a hell of a lot easier in NFTs. So, and then outside of that, I mean, I don't really know what NFTs could accomplish in the actual big, large grand scheme of things, other than this is collectibles. These are things that you see brands have done for hundreds of years. Garments, clothing, items, events, memorabilia. Like these things are all what brands have done for a long time, and NFTs are really no different. It's just more you have the core community to help elevate that. Whereas I'd say anywhere else, you kind of have to like hop on your socials and just start grinding and getting customers. And this is more of like the grassroots way of doing it, and it's still very new. So who really knows how that's going to progress, right? Yeah.
Well, you said community many times, Zubic, and I should say, like, on average, I don't know if I've met a cool, just here and there, a cooler kind of group of members or collectors that y'all always seem to have fun and a good vibe going on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot of people who have come and gone, but we've got a good core group of people, and the most important thing, like I've said this a lot, and like people just have to have a good experience. Like it's just like any other market, really, where not so much where people are coming in and buying an NFT off of you. They're more going into the open market, buying one, and then they kind of become part of what your success is going to be, or what that story of your collection is going to be in your business. And where, I think just a lot of people have just had bad experiences, and not only in NFTs, but in crypto. When it's not good, it's really bad. And it's just, I think that, with the very short amount of time that NFTs have been like a boom and people have paid attention, there's been, kind of more downside than the upside of people have seen. And it's just going to take time for the sentiment and the way people think about this to change. And I think that, back to my point, you just try to make sure people have good experiences. Make sure someone feels welcomed, respected, give them resources, help them out. And the NFT is really just a medium for anything in between on that level. So that's what we've always focused on. If someone's new, get to know them, introduce them, right? Talk to them on spaces. These are the little things that make your community a lot stronger, intertwined. Alignment, like, very important, because when you lose that alignment and the community's gone, I'm afraid it's just you're counting down the days until you're just irrelevant, right? It's so hard to stay relevant, and that's just a very important thing alongside your business.
Well, cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. Everything with us, dude. Thanks. You got anything?
No, appreciate you, Zubic.
Yeah.
You're like definitely one of the OG founders in the NFT crypto space.
Hey, you were one of the first people I felt comfortable even talking with on Spaces before. You talk about making people feel welcome. So I appreciate you for that, man.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, like you see, like, and I don't even know. Like, maybe I'm not a founder. Maybe I'm just someone who created a decent collection. But it's more like you look around, and there's not many people to look at anymore. Like, most people just are gone. Like, there are thousands and thousands of rugged collections and IP out there. And contracts that have just sucked hundreds of ETH that are just dead. And it's like, it's easy to kind of look around now and be like, okay, you guys are definitely doing some cool stuff. You guys are working your ass off, because you're either here to do something or you're here or you're not. And like, the thing is, I don't want to call everyone a scammer, because a lot of people fail and don't do well, and that happens. But the thing with people who don't actually want something, or they're like scammers who come in and people who rug and just like do just this ridiculous shit that just puts such a bad name on us. It's like these people aren't patient, and that's why you see them fizzle out so quickly. And the space, I think, has seen too much of that and not enough of, I guess, just real thought leading, like just leaders, people who are doing good things. But it's going to just take time. Yeah, it's going to take time, and patience is a virtue. But with the whole like TikTok generation of people and everything, everyone's wants it now, right now.
Yeah, there comes inherent risk with that.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's there's the risk of everything. I'm young. You know, I knew getting into this. I knew exactly what I was getting into 3 years ago. When we started working on it, you know, the idea was like, this is real. This is something that we have years outlook on. And I'm sure when we went to mint, you know, 2.5 years ago, a lot of people probably thought, who the hell are these guys? I'm going to mint their fucking project. I'm going to flip this shit and I'm out of here. Because at the baseline, most people actually don't trust you. And that's just true. Like, that's life. Most people, why should someone trust you, right? Or you're a random guy on the internet selling you this and that. So you really just got to like develop that trust, right? Like even B3L, it's been around so long, Porchilla, FG. And it like just the community you build and the trust you build, that's like the most important thing. So I hope to see more collections come out in the future. I think there should be more NFTs. I just think things should be, you know, they just should be done well. Not, you know, they don't have to be 100% perfect, but imagine if like, you know, more people came in actually attempting to do something, trying and wanting to create something successful. Whereas, you know, 90% want to come in and grab ETH or Solana and then kind of get out. So it's it's a nuanced thing, but I do believe NFTs will have their niche on the internet, because ultimately this is a digital thing, and this is just going to numb down to people who are on the internet all the time and people who are really accustomed to using technology. So we'll have our niche, we'll have the market here, and you know, people are like, "Oh, NFTs are going to change the world," and I've never believed that, because they're not really going to change the world. Maybe crypto might change the world, right? Maybe it already has in a way, but I never really believed NFTs were like this thing that was going to like change the way everything works, because it's probably not true. But if we focus on the good parts of it and how we can build that out with thought, with trying to deliver value, whether it's financial, whether it's sentimental, whether it's
or even
emotional value.
belonging, you know what I mean? Like as a key, as your key to a community. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a collaborative effort. People just got to work together more, and you got to kind of find your home and then go from there.
Right. I mean, there's definitely a sense of identity that you don't see in Memecoins with NFTs and community aspect. Even though they try to do community in Memecoins, it's not the same.
No, not at all.
CTO, no. Right, or whatever.
No,
called, yeah.
That's cutthroat.
Yeah, meme coins are like, oh man, even with just the Tron, it's interesting how much it pushed the whole coin up, market cap, and just because people were going over to play memes. Yeah, literally play memes like it's a video game or something. It's just 25% on the 24-hour candle. It's like, this is.
I've never done anything on Tron but send cheap USDT transactions that take a little longer than I like. But
because I think Tron has like a lot of the Tether supply, don't they?
Yeah, they have a lot of the Tether.
Tether, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Justin Sun. He's like, a lot of people are very controversial on him, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know if interesting character is the right word to use, but yeah, I would say that.
He was like offering to buy out like the German government and stuff when they were selling off their Bitcoin.
I mean, that's definitely the move. There was some VC here in San Francisco that bought out the whole Silk Road Bitcoin, and that was easy money for them.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that probably was easy money for them. Yeah,
they bought it for like 60% of what it was, or like something like that.
60%. Yeah, they're laughing now.
I mean, yeah, you just need like a couple billion in cash to buy it out.
Can you imagine being Albright? Isn't it? What is his name? Zach Albright, whatever that guy's name was.
Ross Albright. He lived where in the neighborhood I grew up in as a kid.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he went to the public library apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't they catch him like in the library? Just
but
like,
they had
on his laptop?
Yeah, but they were still worried. Like I saw something recently, they were still worried that like he might have his laptop encrypted, and that at any point, right, that he could just either close his screen or hit some hotkey, and it would be a problem. Yeah. So they waited till they had like I want to say one other person, and they basically they had like one person watching, but they sent someone in to basically as a distraction. I think it was like a female came and asked him a question or something. Basically, he turned around to get his attention, and then they grabbed
his computer.
They swiped it real fast.
So they send in like a really good looking girl to distract him or something. And, laptop's gone, right? And he's arrested. But yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. I watched like an hour-long little docu thing on him on YouTube, and I just went through everything that happened to him. But yeah, I mean, depending on how you look at it, whether he should be in jail or not, but like that's like it it's maybe like reasonable to say that Silk Road was probably one of the was probably how a lot of OG Bitcoiners and miners actually, and these people got introduced to Bitcoin. Now, I wouldn't say the OG miners because that goes back to like Satoshi times, but like Silk Road was like the first like big thing to come out where people were spending Bitcoin, and obviously due to its nature and people buying fucking drugs, you can order ridiculous kinds like services and things on that website that are just very absurd, and that's when people really started to buy up Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin started to increase in price, and it's because this black market, right, where
Right.
people were spending their BTC on whatever the hell it was. And then the feds, they obviously got them. And then I think, but from that point on, it was just more like, people heard about Bitcoin. It was there's more speculation, more exchanges started to pop up because of the popularity and the market cap increase and liquidity flow. And here we are now, right? Like, so you can see these little steps in the Bitcoin journey, whether they're like the Silk Road story, where it's like, okay, most people would think that's a terrible outcome because there was all kinds of illegal and fraudulent things happening there.
It was one of the first good use case.
First good use case for Bitcoin. Exactly. Yeah, and it makes sense, right? I mean, you don't want anyone knowing where that money's coming from, so Bitcoin obviously served the perfect case for it. So, and then you can go even deeper. You've got like Monero, and those are like extremely private chains. Like, I think.
Yeah, but even all that, I think just like the dark marketplaces, it's like a cat and mouse game these days.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
You shut one down, another one. You know what I mean? And then
That's
you
right.
shut that one.
Yeah.
What are they making Monero meme coins? That's the real.
Yeah.
That's the real question.
I don't even think you could you, because don't your addresses change when you move stuff around?
Maybe. I don't even know if they have smart contracts on Monero.
I don't even think they do either. All I know is Monero is blacklisted from most exchanges because of regulatory concerns.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people were laundering money and terrorist organizations and stuff use it. So
didn't GitHub get pressured into trying to, I thought, take down some?
Maybe like the Tornado Cash source code.
Been a repository. Yeah. To some mixer. Maybe that was.
I'm pretty sure all those are sanctioned, right? All those addresses like Tornado Cash and stuff.
Yeah, but what does that even mean? Like, you can still interact with the smart contracts.
Yeah, you can actually, but this is true. Some platforms, like for example, I think even OpenSea has it, where if you've interacted with Tornado Cash, and if it identifies, I don't think you can even you can make an account on OpenSea. I don't think you can do.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't think you can act like. I mean, it really depends.
What about are they scanning addresses for pseudo-swap?
I'm not 100 again. I'm not 100.
What about
sure.
what if
I would think they'd be doing that first before.
Send $1 in ETH to one of the biggest NFT holders' wallets. They just ban.
And that's kind of the problem, right? And this is what these guys will do: is these people will run the money through Tornado Cash. You can see this on chain. They'll send 100 people $100, and they don't care. They're willing to do that. But they do it so they can spoof poison addresses. They can make it seem like there's other people involved or other addresses. So it kind of, whether you're depositing big chunks or not. But the problem is since it got sanctioned, the U.S. government sanctioned all of the smart contracts, all of the main wallets that deployed the Tornado Cash, and a bunch of other ones too. Any mixer you can think of, they get on top of them pretty quick. Because there's Bitcoin mixers. There's tons of mixers out there.
But it's they're using, if you think about it, just like the illegal drug trade, right?
Yeah.
Since it's not illegal, they're using volume, right? They're hiding it. You just hide in volume, right?
You just hide in volume.
You're using a mixer, right? You might be blasting extra addresses, right? Because you're just trying to hide in the mix of the volume.
So I did hear though, back to my point, I think whether it's some centralized exchanges, if you're an EVM wallet or you have a specific address, and let's say that for example, if someone interacted with Tornado Cash and sent you money, it's you wouldn't get essentially, you wouldn't be prohibited for that because that's not you. But if you as a wallet have interacted with Tornado Cash, where you initiated that contract interaction, I believe there's many applications out there. They won't even let you start accounts. They won't let you hook up to an exchange. They won't let you deposit anything because it's fair. I mean,
basically you just got to keep draining that wallet.
Yeah, I guess so, right? I don't I don't know how
You can
far.
keep mixing.
I don't know how
Keep
far
mixing
back it goes. I don't know how good the tech is there, but you would think, because these companies will just get in just as much trouble if people are running the funds through their business, right? So these people just throw on a switch, and if you've interacted with it, it's just like a blacklist or something. Or it doesn't let you because you've interacted with a government sanctioned contract, which is illegal, right? So it's like, I mean, some people are stupid, and it would be a really and it's not even like 100%. Like I've seen people actually track tornado transactions, even though you think it's anonymous. It's like with timestamps, with deposit addresses. Like there's a lot of things you can actually attach to each other to like be like, okay, this is actually that person. Like you can tell by this deposit, whether it's 1 ETH or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
Zach
just the
XBT has
metadata.
pinged a lot. Exactly, has pinged a lot of people on that. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just dumb.
Hey, well, last thing, what was up with this McDonald's story? Was there really a tweet that went out that was hacked and it said something
No,
like
it wasn't a tweet. It was
about a rug or something?
No, it wasn't a
Then it
tweet.
didn't make sense because I was like, well, why wouldn't they have tweeted the meme in the first place versus?
Yeah, so it wasn't. So it wasn't in Twitter. They got hold of their Instagram, and
Okay.
yeah. They have 5.1 million followers on Instagram, and I guess they they just got a hold of it, and then they launched like a shit coin, dropped it on the story, and then
Oh, so they did promote the coin first. Okay.
They did on Instagram. They didn't. They did nothing happened on Twitter. But people saw this and realized this on Instagram. So then everybody started talking about it on CT because it was like mooning, right? It was like shooting up, yeah. And they put in the bio like it was just stupid. It was like a really dumb caption, like "Thanks for the 700K" or just something ridiculous like that. And they left the Telegram link in the website link on the Instagram, and it was up there for like, I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half, and then they finally got it removed. It's back to what it was before, but yeah, it was like it was a Grimace meme, like Grimace the mascot. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous, man. Yeah, it like dumped 90% within like a couple hours.
People just love gambling.
Well, it's these people who have contacts to people who work in these companies, and then they give them access to these accounts, and then it's just as simple as long as you have 10 minutes on there to drop it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
100%. All the sim swaps these days, they're all internal. It's a bribe. It's a payoff.
Always, yeah, exactly. Always. And I remember like it hasn't my phone company that I'm with here in Canada, like they're not really sim swaps aren't very popular with them, which is good. Like they're usually on top of it, but all the time, like I'll call them here and there to just like make sure just identify things, re-verify information, make sure like anyone's like trying to like call in saying, oh, hey, I'm Jake Treadaway, I need this, right, kind of thing. It's like, because I don't want to get sim swapped. Like, that would be really bad if that happened, right? Like, same with, like, if any, like, team got sim swapped or on any end, like, you don't want that to happen. But so it's always good to, like, call in every once in a while and just make sure everything's, like, up to date or no one's tried to tamper with anything. And, the odd time you get, like, a weird text or email from someone saying, oh, reset your password, or, oh, you need to input this PIN to verify something. And then next thing you know, you're screwed, right? Because you just got
you've added an additional email, to your
that's right, yeah. So it's like it's whatever. I just you just got to be careful in literally everything. The internet is a scary place.
For sure. We're getting up there in time.
Yep.
Thanks for coming, Zubic.
Thanks, guys.
To have you again. I'm down to do this every week if you're free. But
yeah, for sure, man. If I got time, I'll pop up.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I mean, Virtual Lab's always here, same as Zubic in Space Riders. Best to find us on Twitter. NFT collections. I mean, we started a Telegram that's posting all our trades. That's probably, I don't know how you guys do Telegram at Space Riders, but I think it's definitely easier for notifications and for the quick Memecoin trades just to post on Telegram for us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about it before. I don't know. I know, like, what's his face just did that big move, Frank, the DGODS guy. And they saw, like, they're, like, going by market cap fundamentals now and shit, and they went up, like, 70%. So, degen.
They moved on they moved chain?
No, they just moved to Telegram as their main
their main thing, and basically they changed their sales bot from like sales to market cap, so it shows the market cap going up now and like the price point. So like they're trying to like put the meme coin like aura on top of the NFT, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh. And they shot up. They're up like 50% in the past like week, 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Are they also doing meme coins trading? I know we've been trying to get some more people involved in that side as well.
Yeah, we have the OG Pass Discord, which is like that's where all the trading happens. I personally don't trade a lot, but oh man, I mean, tons of the riders are balls deep in that stuff. Like I know, like a lot of them have done really good, a lot of them maybe not so well, but yeah, I think it's almost like if you're just the average retail investor, it's hard to like ignore meme coins because that's literally just where all the money is.
Right.
And NFTs kind of like I said, act as like that social layer for everybody. The PFP representing your community and values, and then however you want to enjoy crypto, you go for it. Kind of past that point, and so yeah, meme coins are like they're always going to be here. Like you've got Dogecoin to thank for that, and just the acceleration of like Shiba Inu and all these other coins that popped up on other chains. Meme coins are definitely like a cemented thing in the culture of crypto.
Yeah, but we got a new kind of meme coin now.
The pump fund, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, like they're all gonna rug it at some point, and it's expected.
yes,
You know what I
always.
mean? Like, it's not even a like a if thing. But yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyone
I think
can
that
pop
door's
up
been
Bitcoin now.
opened. Yeah, and it's not gonna go away, at least with the meme coins.
Yeah, and like there's only so like I always say, there's only so many people here. Eventually, this stuff will just hit its cap, and where people are willing to spend, and then like you have new narratives for them, you have drama, you have emotion, and then something else usually arises, as we call like metas or things like this. So it's like, yeah, never a dull day. Like that's my favorite saying, crypto. It's never a dull day here, because things just happen, and you're like, damn, just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, but that's crypto.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks everybody. Go get a
Thanks, guys.
beast. Go get a space rider.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Let's run back next week. I gotta actually hop on another call right now, but appreciate the time. Love the chatter today, and hope you guys have the rest of a good day.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be flying out to that area next week, so I might not, but we'll make up something.